I wanted to give you some information about how to download and submit your candidate form for the National Honor Society here at College Station High School. As you were shown in our meeting here at school, the website is located at cshs-nhs.weebly.com. It's linked from the College Station High School website under Clubs and Activities, so it should be fairly easy to find. Keep in mind that it's also listed on the letter you received during our meeting. The information that is of interest to you at this point is going to be both the selection process as well as the candidate information. If you go ahead and click on the Candidate Information tab, you'll notice that it says to be considered for membership to the National Honor Society, 3 forms must be completed and submitted by January 27, 2016 at 4 p.m. The first one is the candidate form itself. The second is the contact information form, and the third is the recommendation form that should be filled out by a faculty or staff member here at CSHS or someone who's in charge of an activity you participate in outside of school. So if you'll notice here under candidate form, it says that it's linked in the forms folder above. So if you hover over where it says candidate information and you go to forms and click on it, in just a second you'll notice that, let me readjust this for you, that there are 3 files located in here. You have a candidate form for spring 2016, the invitation to submit, which is the letter, and then the recommendation form request sample. Let me show them to you in a list form. It's a little bit easier to see. So the first thing you're going to do is click on the candidate form spring 2016 document. When I click on it, you'll notice it comes up, I'm using Chrome right now, it comes up with a sample of the document itself. Do not, I repeat, do not fill it out in the browser. What you need to do is to download this form itself. So if you notice at the top here, I have a download button. I'm going to click on it. When I click on that download button, over here in the bottom left, I get candidate form, and it brings it up as a link at the bottom of my screen. Again, if you try to click on it now, it's going to open it back up in Google Chrome. From here, you'll click on the folder down at the bottom, which is your Windows Explorer. When I open it and I go to my downloads on the left-hand side, I notice here that I have my candidate form, spring 2016. I'm going to right-click on it and make sure I'm opening it with Adobe Reader. So when I open it up, I notice at the top it says, this file includes fillable form fields. You can print the completed form and save it to your device or acrobat.com. And in the top right, you also notice here that it says highlight existing fields. Right now it's set up to do that. If I unclick, you'll notice everything goes back to being white in the background. So I'm going to click on that highlight existing fields so I know what it is I need to fill in. So from here, I just start filling in the information. So I'm going to put my name, my email address, and continue on throughout the document. So this is a 5-page document where you're going to be filling in as much information as possible, accurately, as detailed as possible. There is a short essay, and then on the last page you'll notice here that there is no spot on the right-hand side under signature for you to fill in, because you're going to be printing this page and bringing it to the different people whose activities you've participated in, along with their printed or typed name. So if you print this out before you type their name in, that's fine. Just write their name in that column, but they do need to sign it. Please make sure it is their signature, not yours. Once you have completed filling out the document, you'll go up to File, and you'll choose Save As. Please do not choose Save, because then everyone's form will be called Candidate Form Spring 2016. According to the website, it asks you to save it as a document named by your last name, then an underscore, then your first name, followed by NHS 2016. Once you do that, you'll notice right here at the top that it's going to be going back into your Downloads folder. You click Save. Once it's saved, you'll open up your email. If I can get to my email. I'm going to open up my email, and I'm going to compose a message to cshs-nhs@csisd.org. Once I do that, in the subject line, you can type your name, you can type candidate form 4, whatever you want to. I'm going to type in Costenbader candidate form, and make sure you attach the document. Again, like I said, it's in your downloads folder. All you have to do is click on it, open it up, and once it's attached, you go ahead and click send. If we go back over to the NHS website, make sure that in addition to submitting your candidate form, you also need to submit the contact information form. If I click on it, you'll see that all I'm looking for is your first name, last name, your ID number, email address, and your cell phone number, and whether or not you're allowed to receive text messages at that number, because we send most NHS reminders through Remind. The one last thing that you need to make sure is submitted by January 27th is the recommendation form. So if I click on that, you'll see this is what I'm looking for. You're going to give the link to this page to the person who's going to be submitting your recommendation. You notice that it is also still due the same day as your candidate form, so please make sure you get in contact with whoever's doing your recommendation beforehand. They're going to be submitting your first and last name as well as your ID number, and then they're going to check off what applies to you and then add additional commentary that we should consider as we look at your candidate form. So make sure you're choosing someone who is going to be able to give an accurate representation of that information. When we go back over to the NHS website, under candidate form, candidate information, if you click on forms where we were earlier, it has the recommendation request sample, and when you click on that, you'll notice that it has instructions. It says copy and paste the text below into an email to the teacher or adult sponsor whose recommendation you are requesting. Change out the information in brackets before you send it. The link that's in here where it says CSHS NHS recommendation will link them directly to the recommendation page, so you do not have to know that gazillion letter URL. But please make sure you change out where it says adult's name up here, and where it says last name, first name. Please make sure you personalize it so that it applies to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to come down to my office and visit with me beforehand.